This episode is brought to you by Dogfish Head Craft Brewery. The Grateful Dead and Dogfish Head have gotten the band back together with the release of Grateful Dead Juicy Pale Ale, a light-bodied pale ale brewed with sustainable Kernza grains, granola, and heaps of good karma for a refreshing brew that's music to your taste buds. Available nationwide. Visit dogfish.com to find Grateful Dead Juicy Pale Ale in your neck of the woods. Dogfish Head Craft Brewery is located in Milton, Delaware. Please drink responsibly.
Culture evolves at the speed of light, just like your financial needs. When it comes to your money, Credit Karma keeps you in the know and ahead of the game. You can count on Credit Karma to keep up with your financial needs as they evolve. We'll help you monitor your progress and give personalized recommendations so you can make strides towards your goals and find your way to money. Make sure you're on the right track, no matter where you are on your financial journey. Intuit Credit Karma. Karma you can count on.
She fluent in that cash talk. Walk in the booth like Naomi on the catwalk. And tell them bitches whoop whoop from the Jaguar. It ain't even right though. Push me and I might go. She ain't getting money. I'm like, what the fuck the hype for? When them bitches bite flow, make my appetite go. Poof, gone, voila, magic. Looking mad good just to pull up on them rampant.
What's up, everybody? My name is Jamila Bell.
Hey, y'all. My name is Mecca. I go by Meccavelli on all socials.
Yes. Welcome to the Unhinged and Immoral podcast. And let's just say it's been unhinged.
When I say we were supposed to record this podcast at 10 a.m., Jamila and I actually woke up early at 7 on FaceTime with each other trying to figure things out. I have never felt more like my boomer parents ever in my life. Our producer, Melissa, we called her like, oh, we don't know what's going on. And she was like, what version of iOS do you have? I told her, she was like, that's old. So then I had to spend like another, it was like the immediate, it's your iOS. So then I spent like an hour updating everything. And then even after we got that done, trying to get headphones, trying to make sure the sounds good. I mean, we don't even know. My microphone didn't work. So if you've ever seen me go live on TikTok, I'm using that microphone. We have a lot of notes. This is going to be a learning process for all of us.
And honestly, you know, that's exactly what I'm sure you guys expected from our podcast. Very much raw and uncut. I feel like that's just the best way to move about things. I don't know. You're getting very much us, raw and in the flesh. But I guess a little bit more.
Yeah, like we're trying to figure it out still.
So a little bit about what you guys can expect from Unhinged and Immoral. The podcast is definitely very raw, unfiltered opinion, think pieces. Very similar to what we do on TikTok, but a little bit different because, you know, TikTok got guidelines. On here, we don't. We're going to be saying all the things that we feel like saying. But also, y'all know we both have...
Jamila, can I say something? Can I say something? Nigga.
Oh, my God.
It's so funny how people think I started saying N-word on TikTok to be cheeky and fun, but it's literally because they kept getting me and taking my videos
like we
down.
Can't say anything. So now we're going to say all of the niggas we want. And all of the things. So expect that. And, you know, we both have a background in communications. So we're going to be having our segment spinoff. So it's gonna be real hot and heavy. Lots of things on the way.
Wait, you called it spinoff or spin it?
What did I say?
You said spinoff. It's spin it.
Oh. Well, yeah.
Y'all know, but we know what you meant. We know what you meant. We figuring it out, y'all. Maybe we call it spinoff. That's cute too.
Hey, well, unraw and unfiltered. Here we are. So I think, Mecca, we need to tell them about our upbringing, like how we got to know each other.
I was literally, you took the words right out of my mouth. So I was going to say, I know you was talking about, you wanted to kind of talk about our friendship because I feel like not so much now since we've been doing the podcast and being very intentional with like being seen together and whatnot. But for a long time there, I felt like every couple months people would find out we knew each other for real. Mm-hmm. And it was like, oh, but mind you, whenever I talk about my friends on TikTok, I always mention everyone by name. So I always notice in the comments, it'd be like, this is the Jamila you're talking about. Because, you know, it is like a relatively common name. And they'd be like, yes, this happens to be the Jamila I've been talking about.
Yeah. And honestly, that would crack me up to this day. Like, there would be my comments like, wait, you're the Jamila? I'm like, well, yes, guys. And they're like, oh, wait, you guys know each other for real. Like, this isn't like a TikTok friendship. We're like, yeah. Didn't we say we were college roommates? Y'all didn't hear that part?
Y'all completely skipped over it. So do you want to tell them how we became roommates, or messy in itself, honestly?
I was going to say, well, if you've ever been to college and you've ever stayed in a dorm room, I feel like everybody has a freshman dorm room experience with a roommate not being so delicious. Let's just say that. I feel like everybody has a roommate story. And it just so happened that our freshman year, that first semester, fall semester, we both had roommates that just were not really conducive to the way we wanted to live our life.
Mine moved out within 3 days of Hampton has this thing called NSO week, where it's like the welcoming, the freshmen arrive to school a week before school starts, before everyone gets there. My roommate moved out in 72 hours. She told y'all, you weren't even hanging out with us at that point.
Mm-hmm.
She told Elantra and them that she thought I was going to rob her. I think I just came off really rough around the edges. Like, I don't know what I would have ever said to her in 3 days to make her think I was going to rob her.
She got the fuck out of there.
No, she did. And mind you, the way she packed up was crazy. Like, I came in from class and like she was all packed up. She had actually, I will never forget this. Her mom told me she had her mom do her dirty work. I said, wow, well, that was really a suck ass bitch move. Like, why am I talking to a 40-year-old woman? And she's like, no, I don't want you to be mad at her. I want you guys to be cool. She's a little weird. And mind you, your mama was shit talking you low key the whole time. Because she was like, I knew she should have had a single. And she ended up going to what was the single girl dorm? Moten.
Mm-hmm.
The I almost said something crazy. The Moten Misses.
And it's just like, okay, girl. And, I really didn't see much of her after that. Just in general.
I didn't either. I used to see her around campus and she would avoid me like the plague child. To this day, I don't know what I did to her in 3 days. And mind you, we had met on Twitter. We was cool. We had been texting for, like that whole summer.
Right.
So I was legitimately caught off guard. And that's why when I was telling her mom, I was like, oh, well, she could have told me she wanted to, I was really confused. I could tell her mom low-key felt bad. Cause you send your child to college and they're already fucking up. I remember the part about she had told the one girl who we used to hang out with that she hid all her credit cards and money under her pillow because she thought I was going to steal it. And that really offended me. And I told her mama that. I said, why did she think I'm going to steal from her? I said, my mom gives me money too. I remember like, you know how when you talking to a grown woman, but I remember that was one of the first times as like a 17, 18-year-old, I was popping my shit at someone who I thought was like an adult. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like, why she walk around telling people I'm finna steal from her? I'm not poor. My mama be giving me money too. You not the only one. And she was like, no, I understand. I understand. Yes, that was the first time I had popped off at like an adult low key because I was really offended. Because mind you, at that point, I definitely did have parents who, please send me money for pizza. Please, I need this, that, and that. So I'm like, why the fuck would I steal your daughter's money? My parents don't tell me no. So
girl,
the math
please.
is not mathing on that.
And it's like, if I wanted to steal from you, I was just going to do it. Like, what you being my roommate was going to change that. If I'm a thief, I'm a thief. I'll come at you in the calf, bitch. But hey.
And damn near low key, I used to be taking umbrellas from the lost and found.
And I was going to be like,
I was not
but you know what,
shit.
Becca, she's not far off because you are a thief. Because remember you stole that girl pizza when she went Mecca stole this
I did,
bitch.
Mary Sarah.
To this day, this is the funniest shit Mecca has ever fucking done, bro.
I told her not this last year, but 2023 homecoming.
That shit is so fucking
I was
funny.
drunk. I was drunk as hell at the tailgate and came clean, and we were sitting there cracking up, child.
It was me. Yeah, Mecca stole this girl food when everybody had left for Thanksgiving. But what makes it sicker is when we all got back, she put out this fucking message like, somebody stole my frozen pizza, whatever the fuck it was.
She printed off. I know you seen it on Twitter. The girl
the little
who printed off them signs of the boys. She did the same thing. She printed like a wanted poster. You know what? Because Jamila, you don't understand the situation. She was putting them wanted posters up or the missing pizza posters up. And then on the post, I never forget this. She had put a little picture of the pizza, it was a little fucking Red Baron.
She went through she had effort.
No, she printed 50 posters, and she happened to be putting one up in front of like our little what became our little room.
Mm-hmm.
So like she putting it up, and I'm like, but remember, like, we knew her, we got up with her because
Yes.
curfew and like all these things. So I'm coming out the room, I'm like, hey girl, da da da. Now mind you, when I ate the pizza, I obviously didn't know who it belonged to, and it was Thanksgiving break, and I was the only girl in VC, just me and Miss King, girl. I mean Lexi, because every time I call her Miss King now, she get mad.
We're adults now.
You grown, stop.
Right. We can call her by her first
me and
name.
Lexi was the only one. And Miss King was our graduate assistant. FY.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like a grad student at the time. And it was me and her there for Thanksgiving. And, I was chilling. Anyway, I just was like, it's a frozen pizza in here. I was lit. I wanted it. And I definitely warmed it up and ate it. And I helped her when she was outside my door. I said, hey, girl.
I just know in your mind, you're like, like, did you ever feel guilty?
It was so crazy. I didn't put two and two together until she had put, like, I said, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm making a poster because someone ate my pizza and it was like a little pan pizza. And she handed me the sign. And I was like, I said, girl, they got you fucked up. Come on, I'm going to help you. I helped her put them posters up.
Yeah,
too.
I know your crazy ass did. Insane. That's why I said your roommate wasn't far off. She had some level of discernment on.
It was when I went to Elantra's room and they seen the posters. They was laughing about it. And I was like, yeah.
Oh, God. That shit was, when you finally came clean, that shit was so fucking fun. I'm like, yeah, you're actually nuts. But I don't know. That solidified you in my book. I'm like, I like a crazy bitch. I don't know.
We're going to take a break and we'll be right back. Is the wellness world making you feel like you're not doing enough lately? Not drinking enough water, not doing the right 3-hour skin regimen, not making the right vegan, gluten-free, keto, paleo, Mediterranean salads? What we should be doing is seeing a real doctor, one who can actually help you figure out the right health plan for you. ZocDoc makes that part easy by giving you tons of doctors to choose from and letting you book in seconds directly on their website. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment.
I use this and you should too because it's just too easy. Y'all, I do have a cavity currently, and so unfortunately I do have to go to the dentist even though I hate it, but thankfully I found out about ZocDoc, so it made it super easy and simple to find a doctor within my network. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/unhinged to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/unhinged. ZocDoc.com/unhinged.
And we're back.
So my roommate, on the other hand, she did not think I was a thief, but she definitely thought I was her nigga or something because every time I would wake up, her bare ass would be in front of me. And I do mean bare ass, booty cheeks. And if y'all don't know anything about them old school ass dorm rooms, they're this fucking big. And I could reach my hand out and touch her bed. And she was very comfortable. She would go to the little communal showers that we had, shout out to them 1980s dorm rooms and communal showers. She would go in the communal shower. She would come back, take that motherfucking towel off, and I would open my eyes, and boom, it was ass in my fucking face. And I was like, oh, every single time, like, okay, girl, it's day 3. Like, I don't even know you like that. And that would always shock me because it was just always booty, butt, ass naked all day long. And I just was like, damn, it really takes you a long time to get dressed. And so that was always frustrating to me. But then also she started like popping off on me about little shit, I guess about like when I would leave and come back. And it's like, ooh. Yeah, no, I don't know. The energy was just off. She never even really did anything specific to me for me to like want to beat her ass. It was just very much like, I don't like you. We don't mesh.
Was your roommate the stinky girl? Did she also stink? If I remember correctly. I'm pulling deep from the messy banks of my mind, child. But if I'm not mistaken, she was also known for being having a tinge, a twang.
There was an odor.
And honestly, it really wasn't just being Jamila's roommate. Like the dorm kind of knew she had a scent.
It was just It was a lot, you know.
Because I do remember when Jamila asked, because like I said, my roommate moved out, so I essentially wasn't a single.
Mm-hmm.
And when we started getting cool and you had dropped like possibly being my roommate, I remember distinctly that was one of the reasons you cited. And it's like, how can I not feel for a girl who is having to be around funk all the time?
And it was just also like uncomfortable. Like, you know how you would bring people into your dorm room to like have a little kiki or whatever? You know, Raynell used to come into my dorm all the time.
I was going to say, because you used to stay in Raynell's room all the time.
Yes. I just stopped staying in my room. Like, it would be me and her sleeping in that damn twin size like we was two lesbian couples.
Because y'all was both
we were both
big as Thumbelina.
Just petite. We was both 5 feet, probably 90 pounds. We was up in that twin
Not
bed.
Even that. Girl, right now was 75 pounds.
No, right now was
you
so
was 85
tiny.
and right now. I remember when I was in y'all right now room with y'all one time, I felt like the biggest, fattest bitch ever. Like, I said, I'm here with two little tiny slivers of people.
I remember
what
we were
is
like,
going on?
Are y'all sleeping in the bed together? We were like, yes. He was like, y'all bitches are weird.
Because y'all was just all cuddled up, and it was crazy that y'all fit in there like that. I just was not. I was I ain't never seen nothing like that, girl. I didn't even want to.
We was damn near in a queen bed. That's what it felt like. The way we both fed in that little twin size bed. You could do a lot in a twin size bed. That's what I will say. You could do a lot in a.
You would know. I wouldn't. I made sure I went in and got my V card swiped in the Harbors in a queen size.
Well,
I said, I don't know about the rest of you young bitches, but I respect myself.
Yes, the V card. Well, actually, was I on the couch the first time? No, I was in the bed. Mm-hmm. Yes, I was in bed. That's actually how we bonded. Fun fact, everybody. Me and Meg were both virgins when we came to college. We were so tender and we were just good girls. We've never seen a boy. And we were both equally boy crazy also. So we were like actually very pressed to lose our virginity. We were like really excited. So it was kind of like, okay, bitch, let's see who can do it first. And I did win the bet. I did get some dick first.
She won. Sometimes when I think about like, you know how I think that, you know, with society being, oh my God, you need to hold on to your virginity forever. And thinking about how pressed we were to get it off of us, that we literally created a little competition, like who's going to do it first? Because I remember when Jamila did win, she was fast. She won. But I was like, oh, well, now I really have to get on it.
Yeah.
And I think I was, well, I got it in like a 2-week span within you. It really wasn't that far after, because I felt like at that point it was time to get to business. I was pussyfooting around. So.
For sure. And you know, it's funny because we both lost our virginities to older guys. And I know at that time thinking like,
if I'm not mistaken, they were both seniors.
Yes. And it's so funny because I literally remember thinking to myself like, bitch, you bitches can't fuck with me. Like, my nigga is a senior. Whole time nigga was playing my stupid young ass. Like, of course it's easy to fuck a senior, bitch. You're young and stupid.
Yeah.
I thought I was a cold bitch.
Yeah, my nigga had a house and he didn't even stay in the Harbs. He stayed a little bit off, you feel me? I just thought about that. I said that wasn't even the Harbs. That was because we used to have to get Marv to drive us over there. Remember I wanted to bounce out on him?
Yeah. I definitely was in them Harbors apartments though. Yes, at Harbors apartments.
You was in the Harbors. I wasn't in the Harbors. I was over there on set. What was that? Setlist land? Child. I don't know, child. It wasn't the Heritage either. It was like a random little duplex within the vicinity of downtown Hampton.
Yes.
But I will say, I don't know about you, but I actually got my first kiss and lost my virginity in the same night.
What, Mecca?
That's how, yeah.
Bitch was just raw. Bitch ain't had shit. Oh, so you was really young and tender.
I've told this story on TikTok.
So that was your first time sucking dick too?
I didn't even suck dick. I didn't even do that.
Oh.
The first time.
So, wow.
I didn't like the way it looked. Honestly, if I'm being honest, it was ugly.
So do you feel like you kissed good or do you feel like it was just like a little stumble?
I don't know what I was expecting. I remember I thought I peed on myself when I got wet that first time. I like got up and I like ran to the bathroom. Christians, you have to teach your children about their bodies because the way I lost my virginity was just truly a shit show. I ran to the bathroom. I really thought I had peed on myself. Like it's not.
Oh my God. No, that's
I got
hilarious.
up so quick. And then no, I'm not even done. Guardians of the Galaxy was playing in the background. So they're just to age myself. Mm-hmm. Guardians of the Galaxy was playing. It was that scene where he chases Zoe Saldana through the fucking intergalactic city or whatever. I don't know. But when he stuck it in, it hurt. And I obviously didn't like it. So I said, he took it out, right? Mm-hmm. And he was like, I only have one condom. And I was like, okay, so take it off and use it later.
No, baby.
He was like, no.
Oh my God, Mecca. Shit.
Oh, I was green as fuck.
I mean, green, bitch.
It was really bad.
I had my first kiss when I was in high school. It was this boy. We had went to the movies and I was so fucking nervous because I knew I was gonna have my first kiss in there. I just knew because it was a scheme that Ty set up because we had met them at the football game the day before, and my friend at the time was trying to hook me up with him.
So they didn't go to your school?
No, so one of the boys, he used to go to our school, he transferred, so he had came back for the football game, and he was talking to my homegirl, and my homegirl at the time was like trying to hook me up with his homeboy. So I was like, okay, cool, you know what I'm saying? I got to get these rocks off somehow. I've always been young, hot, fresh, and fast, but you know, I'm also real scary. So I was like, okay, yeah, it's time to, inch it up. I was ready to talk to a boy. So we get to the movies and I just already knew because we sat in pairs and everybody was in a different quadrant of the theater. I said, oh my God, it's about to get freaky in this bitch. I turn over and I see somebody tonguing down. I'm like, we were actually watching Colombiana. Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting there
another Zoe Saldana classic.
Zoe?
Colombiana is such a good movie.
It was. I was actually getting I'm watching the movie like, wow, this is good. I'm just like this. Because I'm like,
everyone does when they watch Colombiana.
I'm just like, this is a good movie. Next thing I know, the hand is over my shoulder, and I'm like I'm actually really terrified because I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna kiss this nigga. Like, what do I do? Like, I got big ass fucking lips. Like, what if my lips don't know what to do? Like, I'm really freaking out because I'm like, oh fuck. So then he starts pulling me close, and I'm still just staring at the damn screen, trying to act like I don't know what the fuck is going on. Then the nigga grabs my damn chin to when they try to turn and shit. I'm like, ah! So then I start kissing him and I immediately stick my tongue out. That's when I knew I was just fast. Cause why the fuck did I immediately stick my tongue out?
That's crazy.
I immediately
Because I didn't even initially stick my tongue out.
I was straight to tongue.
I thought we was gonna kiss Mwah.
Yeah, no. As soon as he put them lips on my, I said, I was ready. I was just kissing him. I think I did good, but in hindsight, I probably sucked. For real, I was probably just being messy because I was, like I said, I was just so eager to put my tongue down somebody's throat.
I will say, I do remember vividly that the person's lips was smaller than mine, which was I had never felt. Not that's interesting because it's you, as someone who also has big lips, when someone's lips are significantly smaller than yours, you can feel it.
Yeah.
So I remember being like, "This is interesting." So. One, I'm getting a first kiss for the first time, but two, I'm also really having this concept that all lips don't feel the same. I don't know. It was very weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was interesting, but that wasn't. I feel like my sexual escapades were gradual. So I had my first kiss. I think I was a sophomore or junior, and then I didn't do anything sexual again until I was a senior when I had my first boyfriend. But all I did was do a little sucky. But that was still so terrifying for me because I was just like, OMG, what if I get caught with somebody's penis in my mouth? But I never did.
That's crazy.
But it felt so fun. And he would finger me and stuff.
It felt so fun. Oh yeah, you was young and fast, bitch.
But also it's funny because he I know specifically he asked me if I wanted to have sex, and I just would say, no, I'm good here. This is cool. Because I was really scared that it was going to hurt. And I actually planned to lose my virginity prom night because I felt like that was very TV. And that was very much a TV moment. And I was so excited to do that because I'm like, that's exactly what would happen on TV. I cannot wait to lose my virginity prom night because at that time, my boyfriend was a year older. So he had graduated. So again, I was feeling very cool. I'm like, you bitches have niggas your age. You bitches are dating niggas in high school. I got myself a grown 19-year-old bitch. I was feeling myself. But he didn't want to go to the prom with me. So I was like, okay, my nigga gonna pick me up after the prom. So we go to the prom. We have a good time.
Okay.
Actually go to prom with my best friend. And afterwards, I said, see y'all later. My nigga picking me up. So he picked me up. I'm thinking we're going to go to a hotel. This nigga take me back to his fucking grandparents' house. Oh, fucking brother. But I'm like, okay. But let me tell y'all how my fucking night was ruined, because that's the day I got my fucking period. The first day of my period, mind you. I couldn't even fake it till I made it. That was actually
ugly.
the first day I used the fucking tampon.
Wow. God said you were going to have some first that night, just not.
He said, oh, yeah. You sticking something in your coochie for damn sure, bitch, a tampon. Get to it. So, yeah, when I got back to his house, I was so sad.
I would say for me, too, it was gradual. When I lost my virginity and then I didn't have sex with that person again.
Mm-hmm.
I actually didn't, I lost my virginity like in January, I believe, of that, like the beginning
that second semester, yeah,
of freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't have sex again until fall semester of sophomore year.
Oh, wow.
So probably, what was that? August, probably like September.
Okay.
Because I ended up getting me a little military boo.
Oh, yes.
So it had hurt so bad that I was like, okay. And then this is so much information. Oh my God. I don't even think we planned to talk about this, but whatever. I don't even think I've ever said this out loud. I was talking to him and he was like, we were fucking with each other the long ways. That's what's crazy. Like, I still have him on Facebook to this day. Like, that was really I think that if he hadn't ended up getting deployed, I would have ended up like really like staying with someone. Cause I feel like I do have the personality where I'll just kick it with someone. I'm not really tripping too bad.
Well, thank God for deployments.
I started talking to him and he was a little bit older. What at that point I was like 19. He was like 21 or 22. And he had like to get it in a lot. And I will say his dick was a lot bigger than the person I lost my virginity to. So I feel like I had told him, I said, I've only had sex one time and hurt. He was like, oh, you gotta keep doing it, for it to feel good. I will give it to him.
Point proven.
After the third time, I said, what the fuck y'all talking about?
Yeah.
Wow.
You definitely, so that's the thing. Like that first time I said, okay, now I know I was excited, baby, but fuck, that hurts. But I will say, I did start having sex at that point and I haven't stopped since. No shade. Well, actually I did have some moments of breaks. I'm lying, because after I had gotten pregnant, I literally didn't have sex my whole pregnancy. I didn't have sex the next year. It was like 2-3 years that I didn't have sex. I didn't even talk to nobody. So that was like, I became a virgin again at that point. That my virginity had restarted. So then when
yeah, that's how that works.
Yeah, that's literally how that works. Honestly, at any time I go a couple of weeks or a couple of months and like you start fucking a new nigga, like it's a little bit of like it's a little, you know what I'm saying? It's not the easiest. So I just feel like re-virginity. But that first time getting back in the swing of things after all them years, on God, I lost my virginity. On God, it felt the same. I said, well, shit.
I will say, I feel like that would hurt only because if you don't have sex for like a couple months, you be feeling it.
Literally. That's why I'm like, I don't know what these people be talking about.
I was, it's not celibate because they always try and correct me and say, no, you're abstinent. But I was abstinent for like a year. Okay. What year was that? 2022? And I feel like I enjoyed it. I'm glad I did it. It was like a really eye-opening. I feel like I learned a lot about myself. Like the whole woo-woo, like self-discovery situation. I will say, 2023 New Year's, I hit the ground running.
Yeah, as you should.
I let a Trini man I met in the club neck me.
Oh.
And I went home and I said, that's a great start to the year. And I just said, I don't never want to be abstinent again. And I have it.
Thank you for those lessons. I'm good.
Like literally, thank you, God, for those lessons.
And you know what? That's what I'm going to call that little stint when I had, when I was pregnant and after, because I was not having no type of sex. I mean, I wasn't even having a thought of or a concept of sex. So I'm going to say I was celibate then. It was not intentional, but it just kind of turned out that way. And of course, I was going through a breakup. But at the same time, I did go through a moment where I tried to make it work with that person. But then I said, well, I'm also not going to have sex with you. So, because I just feel like when you start fucking, like your mind starts to get convoluted. Your mind gets convoluted. And you be thinking that you still like this nigga whole time. You was just horny. So it's like, no, I'm literally not gonna have sex with you. And then that's how I'm gonna make my decision. And I had a sound clear decision. Oh yeah, no, I don't want to be with you ever again. Thanks though.
Well, so that's why I really think that if you're gonna be dating, you need to get you a little nigga to the left, who you don't really want anything with, who is strictly there to do just that. I feel like if you're dating and you're not like trying to hunch on something, it makes dating really easy and like clear headed. If you don't want to become like completely abstinent.
Yes. Honestly, dating now at 28 is so much more fun because I feel like there's like pre and post for me. There's like pre-Noah and post-Noah. Like pre-Noah, I was very like, I felt like I was so pressed. Like every guy I talked to, I imagined me being in a relationship with them, and I was like waiting on that opportunity to become like get in the fucking relationship. And it's like when I think back, it's like, bitch, why were you trying to get in a relationship with this nigga and he wasn't even eating your coochie? Something's got to be wrong.
Well,
like we gotta start, using our common sense. But I was just so pressed that a nigga was trying to talk to me because I didn't experience that up until college. Like niggas was not checking for me at all in high school. So I got no play at all. So when I got in college and all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, the niggas was checking for me. I'm like, well, I have to give everybody a chance. Well, hi, how are you?
I feel like that was my problem. Well, not my problem. I gave everyone a chance.
I
had a good time in college. I had me a good time in college.
I too.
My mom told me not to get a boyfriend. That's the only thing I ever listened to that she said. And she told me to keep up with my good girl. And that was something else I listened to. Hampton's real small. They like to talk.
It is. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back. And we're back.
I lost my virginity to a Hampton man. And he graduated, got the fuck. I didn't catch that second Hampton body till 2019, 2020, the pandemic. And that was a body I had wanted since my freshman year.
Let's talk about getting. That's what's more important to me. Fuck the body count. Did you get the niggas you wanted? Because you already know my story. There was a nigga at Hampton that I had my eye on from day one, and I was on the prowl and on the hunt. I said, that's I love him, y'all. I would tell everybody, like, I love him. Never even talk to this nigga. I just see him walking in the cab, like, I love him. And I will never forget our spring semester. We started working together because, I used to work in the calf, but during the games. So during the basketball games, I was working, throwing people a little peanut, a little popcorn, a little cold drink, a little this, a little that. I was doing that.
I'm crying. Come on.
So he started working too. So I'm like, oh my gosh, it's my chance. So I was just like, hey, hi. And I was just like so excited.
Don't he still hit you up to this day?
To this day. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I started talking to him. And I was so fucking nervous because at that point, he was actually a super senior. That nigga was, he was older than me for sure.
Yeah, he was
like 5 or 6 years older than me, actually. But I didn't give a fuck. I wanted that man bad. And guess what? I got him. Literally my last day at Hampton as a student. I didn't even know that was going to be my last day because I was under the impression I was coming back that next year. He had called me over. I went to his house. We had a time. And after that, we were like dating on and off for like 4 or 5 years. And so I don't know.
Yeah, that's a crazy story.
When you really get the nigga you want, it's like, I don't know. I have to have superpowers. Like, and what's crazy, I always think about my freshman year. It's like, you know what? I thought I was going to be a whore. I really did. I thought I was just going to be a big whore because I felt like I got on campus and all of a sudden it's all these niggas that were fine. Because I went from Decula High School, which was mostly white. And then of the slim pickings of niggas that there were, they were either not cute or dated white girls. So there was just nothing really that interests me. But when I got to Hampton and seen it was nothing but niggas, I said, okay, we were already off to a good start.
And see, I feel like a lot of y'all, this is where I gotta give myself my 10s. A lot of y'all really limited yourself to campus. Bitch, I was on Tinder like a motherfucker. I said, let's see what's happening across the bridge on that shit.
You were.
And when I started getting into shit business,
And you know,
See,
Mecca,
you didn't come back for sophomore year. So
you
my whole
weren't
sophomore
scary
year,
enough for me. I think I needed you to have a little bit more fear in your heart because the way you was on them apps.
No. I will say, like, you know how you look back like, ooh, God kept me. Because what the fuck,
Because what the hell was you doing?
You just happened in a car with anybody. Like,
what the hell?
I used to be like, bye, guys. I'm going on a date.
Like,
he
crazy
pulls up
ass.
in a Charger, you know.
Like, who is this nigga?
Just like a military boy.
Yeah. Honestly,
I used to have some good times.
I be thinking to myself, like, okay, you know, like I said, I thought I was gonna be a whore my freshman year. That was actually my goal. I intended, I had every well intention to just bust things down because I'm like, I feel like I had some catching up to do, and everybody else seems so experienced. And I don't know if you remember this. I'm not gonna say his name, but I started talking to this one boy first. He was short, freckles. That's all I'm gonna say. And we was talking, and I remember we had went to this party. And this was like one of my first time. Like,
oh fuck, I do remember him.
Yes. So I remember we went to this party, and I mean, oh my gosh, when I tell you, we were literally dry humping in that fucking party, and he was tonguing me down, and it felt so invigorating, it felt so free, and I was just like, yes, I had every intention on losing my virginity
to a point that you made, Jamila.
What?
You had said this. What were we talking about this? Maybe it was live yesterday or the day before when you was talking about how you've always loved an Arho. You love an alternative black man. Like how you were like, you like them with a twist out something and like all this type of shit.
You know, just a little, some type of something in there. Just, you know, let's have fun, right? But what's crazy is I had full intentions on like losing my virginity to him, but apparently he had found out through the damn grapevine that I was a virgin, and he stopped talking to me. And I was like, hey, what's the deal? He was like, yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I just, you know what I'm saying? I feel like we need to stop talking.
Oh, that's why y'all stopped talking.
Yes, he was like, you know, I heard that you were like a virgin and everything. I just feel like, you know, I don't know. Like, I'm just now getting, you know, into school. Like, and I don't, like, if you have sex, I wouldn't want you to like be in love with me and shit. You're safe.
Well, he wasn't completely off.
I'm like, you know, you're safe. But like, I was like, okay, but like, I was literally gonna fuck you. Like, ugh. Hey, okay. So we stopped talking.
I was gonna do my things and go.
Yeah, it was just like, well, okay. So then the next nigga got it. It was just like, okay, well, I guess I'm back to the drawing board. And then the next nigga was, you know, the senior nigga, and like, I was strategic. I was like, I'm not gonna tell him I'm a virgin because clearly these niggas don't like virgins around this bitch. So let me just pretend like I didn't been here before. So I'm like, fuck, what can I do to get some dick around this bitch? Damn, like y'all rationing? Like what's going on? So I decided that the next thing I was not going to tell him I was a virgin, and I didn't tell him. And then the day, like we were talking for probably like a week before I actually went over to his house at the Slarbs. And then I remember like as we were like starting to like get hot and heavy, I was in my head like, oh my God, I can't believe this is gonna happen. Oh my God, I don't want to that. And that shit hurt like a bitch. It definitely did, but honestly, I didn't want to tell him that it hurt because, again, I was trying to pretend like I was not a virgin. And in hindsight, it's like, bitch, you're doing a lot. But, you know.
Can I ask you something, Jamila?
What?
Can I ask you something? God. Now, when people ask, like, oh, how friends are you? How friends are you and Jamila? You didn't come back to Hampton sophomore year, but you did come back for homecoming, which was also a shit show.
I did. And I had a time.
Do you remember we were in my big living room? And because you were out there, so we all slept there.
Mm-hmm.
I like when I think
I
about
already know exactly what you're about to say. But go ahead.
I said we were so young and crunk and crazy, and that was really crazy of me. And I will apologize to you in a public place. Child, I will say this. I definitely got my back beaten with Jamila on the other end of the couch.
And meanwhile, I'm knocked the fuck out.
Mind you, to this day, I knew the whole reason I didn't mind doing it was because I was so confident she wasn't going to wake up because we had
anybody knows. I was going to say, everybody knows when I sleep, baby, I sleep.
And Jamila was really asleep this whole time. And mind you, the couch was like a sectional. So it really wasn't like we were 2 feet. You was really on the end that belonged. And then I was on the way on the other end. But this is what always makes me laugh about that situation. People started waking up because it's homecoming. Everybody's lit. Like, we're drunk. This is the first time I had someone nut on my face, but I didn't give him consent to.
Issa
So
Rae,
mind you,
please.
like I'll never forget. And the way he did it, he bounced like he was on top of me, and then he like jumped up and then just everywhere. Now, mind you, I don't know this is gonna happen.
What if it got
I
on
was
me,
so drunk.
Mecca?
No, you were too far away. It would have never got on you. But bitch, I'm not lying. I busted out crying. I was like, I would never forget. I was crying so bad. I said, you don't respect me. You just nutted on my face. And he's like, mind you, we're in this house. You're asleep over here. Everyone's sleeping in the room. He's like, no, calm down. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
And I'm just like, oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Teenagehood it was too much.
You know, it's just like, wow. That was an eventful weekend for me, for sure.
It was an eventful weekend.
You know, it's always you know, is there
shout out to the drinking games. The drinking games are always gonna reveal what needs to be revealed.
It's gonna always reveal some things. Is there like anybody like from your past? There's only one person. I always say that there's only one person I would really double back on. And you know, to this day, you know, we be kikiing or whatever. But it's like we
who you be kikiing with?
You know.
That's who you would double back on?
Yeah. For sure.
I'm crying.
I was gonna see him homecoming, which is crazy. Like we had already planned on like seeing each other for homecoming. But we ended up doing one music fest. So I was just like, well, farewell.
That can't be a serious double back though.
No, I don't.
That would have to be I'm a double back and have fun.
No, for sure. I don't think it would ever.
The things I've heard about how he was moving when he was in a relationship, I'd be like, Jamila, please be serious.
Yeah, no, I don't think we would ever like work out realistically as a relationship. But I do remember, as Jill Scott used to say, I remember what we used to do.
That's disgusting.
I'm not gonna lie, like, cause you remember your first freak. You always remember your first freak.
True that. No.
And well,
yeah.
So
I
remember. No, but he gives that. Oh, it is right. And
no, he gives that.
Is that.
That's not surprising to hear.
And I appreciate him for that because he introduced me to things. He did. He introduced
you to a vibe.
He introduced me to things that unfortunately I have not been able to come back from. To this day, I look for those things. Like, you don't.
He fucked your head up. Good for him.
Now, when it comes to the rankings, like there's probably 3 to 4 people in my catalog, in my Rolodex that like are on that same level. Everybody else,
no.
Like absolute, just no. So
I'm trying to think, would I double back on anybody? Yes and no. I feel like I'm really lucky. I'm a lucky girl because I somehow am able to scope and I have the discernment to tell when a nigga is a freak. So I think that I give a vibe about me so that when it's time to get down to business, I don't have to like
say too much.
It don't be throwing me. I will say there's been a couple times where it's been like, oh, that was horrible.
I've unfortunately have had some more than I'd like to say unpleasant accounts in the bedroom.
Oh, no. I probably have had like well, one of them I gave him another chance and he redeemed himself. But only after I cussed him out for how he performed the first time.
Okay. I've gotten better at being more expressed. Like I said, there's pre and post, Jamila, right? So post is like I'm way more vocal at like, okay, not too much or a little bit more, you know, letting them know what I like and don't like. But before I was just, I was still very, I don't know, like, I guess I didn't really understand what exactly I needed to say. Like I couldn't really put my finger on what wasn't good about the situation. So I was still kind of just trying to figure out, well, why are you not as good as that other nigga? What the fuck are you not doing that he was doing? Like,
that. But see, that's what I will. Yeah. That's what I'll give it. Like when sophomore year, when I was living on the Navy ship, I was in the field. Like That's why I feel like, oh, would I double back on anyone sexually? No, because like no, you need to do X, Y, and
Yeah.
Z.
Yeah. And
You need
I
to stick
say
it here, here, and
I
here.
would double back on him because also like I was supposed to come, like we just literally just stopped talking because I moved. So it was like, it was never no drama between us or anything like that. Like we were talking for a little bit when I was at Hampton, like, and then of course I left and I never came back. But then I came back for, for homecoming and we saw each other. But then after that I never even went back to Hampton after that. So it's like, I literally have not seen him in years. And I remember he had hit me up one time, like probably 4 years ago, maybe. He was in town. But I was busy
Not
doing
an in-town
something.
visit.
Yeah, but I was busy and I couldn't even link up with him. So that was it. So it was just like, we just haven't really, I guess we haven't had our closure.
Your rendezvous. Well, I hope it happens for you.
Yeah, before I lock down, which I'm kind of in the it's like I kind of don't really want to lock down anytime soon. I've always said, I do plan on being famous, and I just feel like a part of my fame and my scope is I have to be seen paparazzi running across the street with a mysterious man before I settle down, and that hasn't happened yet. So
I'm crying. Well,
yeah.
I mean, I feel the same.
We're going to take a break and we'll be right back. And we're back.
I'm not rushing. I feel like I was in like such a serious relationship in my early 20s where like I really was ready to settle, that even though like I'm not rushing it. Like I'm whatever, God has for me, he has for me. I'm not going to like dub a good man. I'm not going to tweak.
Right.
But I'm also not like pressed how you're saying pre-Noah, post-Noah. Like, I'm not pressed. I enjoy my life. I think it's because, the older you get, you figure out the things that you like in life. Even I feel like you get boy happy, and then happiness comes from boys. And then you're like, oh, well, there's more to life than boys. Yes. And then when you get to that point where you're like, I don't really care about the boys, that's when all the boys start coming. And then it's like this weird point where it's like, I see that you're a great guy and but I got to put me first, Lucius. So I feel like that's kind of where I'm at with it. Like, I recognize that people are, good people and I'm fucking with it. But I'm not putting any press to like get married per se. I'm also not going to let anyone drag it because I feel like we're almost 30. So it's like, am I going to date you for 5 years? No. But
right. Yeah. And I feel like that being in a long-term relationship will definitely do that to you, because I was in my relationship for about I guess you could say about 3 years. That last year was very touch and go, but I guess we'll count it. And when you've been in a long-term relationship, but also when you've been in a more so toxic relationship, it drastically changes you once you are on the other side. Like, I literally felt like I was in a fucking pharmaceutical commercial after I broke free from that nigga. Like, wow, I just want to run. I just want to say hello to everybody. Hello. Like, I was just so ready to just be free from that toxic shit. And it's like, on top of that shit will make you not never want to go back, bitch. If I don't want, hell no. I just got so many, like, I wouldn't even say it's guards. It's just like, no, like we're not
you be paying attention to them red flags. Or I will say I've had both sides. When you're being serious, you'll pay attention to them red flags, or you start not giving a fuck. So when you see the red flags, it's just like, oh, well, I'm not going to take you seriously. But, you're kind of good at what you do. So I'll still fuck with it.
I'm like, and I move differently, I guess. Like, it just is what it is. Like, we can talk and we can date, and I want to experience you and I want to have fun. But I also have a child. And so my schedule is not the same. And then on top of that, like, I have a career that I'm putting first. Like, before, I would literally just, the nigga could be like, come over now. And but it's like, now I feel like I have choice, and I appreciate me having choice. And like, this is also just a me thing, but I am not moving in with no more niggas until I get a ring on my finger.
Fair enough. I've never lived with anyone.
It's an experience. I think everybody should do it, though. I definitely think everybody should take that step.
I was gonna say, I used to say no, but I've been much more open to it lately. So I will say that the whole like having to take care of a child, but also putting yourself first, because I often think about like how my ex, who was like a toxic relationship, X, Y, and Z, we at the point in which our relationship was like exploding, TikTok was coming up. And that's when I started making TikToks. And obviously, like, I talk a lot of shit. He was real religious, and like it was a point of contention. He was like, why are you doing this? This is not like of Christ. This is not good representation. And so I often think about like, oh my God, if I had listened to you and let you like, if I had been like, stop because you said stop, where would I be? Like, this shit has completely changed my life. So that is just like all the motivation I need to like never listen to a man, like ever. Not to sound like this, and this is no shade to teachers because my mom's a teacher, but I would have been a teacher in Baltimore, Maryland if I had listened to him.
Yeah, I remember you telling me you were going to teach, and I'm like, okay, Mecca. Teach who? Like, what are you talking about? Like, sometimes, you know, you just be doing shit.
I would have been a teacher.
But,
like,
you know,
so,
at the same time, you be doing shit. You got to just I got to just let you do the things that you do. You know, you just be just doing things. But it's like, okay, girl. Okay, girl. Okay, girl. But, you know, one thing we haven't talked about yet, which I think it'll be a great closer for this episode, is how we actually always knew we were going to be exactly here in some form or facet. Like, I specifically remember a very specific conversation we had when we were in our room. And I think we had either just gotten back from a party or we were about to leave to go to a party. And we were like, okay, so when we're famous, like, how are we going to do this? Like, we just would casually talk about, like, so when we get famous, and I remember specifically you said, I was thinking I would go the route of dating an athlete and then like going on Housewives. But I feel like that's my way in. And I was like, no, that's totally your way in.
Oh my God, Maddie knew who she was. I used to say this on TikTok all the time. And if you know me, you know that I was dating athletes and I had achieved my goals. And then I got in them scenes and said, this is fucking ghetto. I'm not having a baby by any of you. But I remember the conversation as well. And us really plotting and figuring out. And, you know, I think it just speaks to like how when you speak things into existence, there's power in the tongue. Like the tongue has power. Because the fact that we used to literally say like, oh my God, not only are both of us going to be famous, but we're going to be famous together. We're going to do things together. And I specifically also remember us like touching on, okay, so if you get on first, then I'm gonna hit you and we're gonna do this together. Or if I get on first, then you're gonna hit me and da da da. Like we were making such specific plans, so casually and so confidently that we have no choice but to look back at that moment and be like, damn, we really did speak this into existence for ourselves.
Yeah. And honestly, for last weekend for One Music Fest, when we were walking through and to have people coming up to us saying, are y'all Mecca and Jamila from TikTok? That was kind of just like the Well.
Wasn't this what we're talking about?
Yes, it is. That was kind of just like the full circle moment. Like, oh wow, like we really are at the precipice of that point. I love that for us.
I really am happy that also, I think the coolest part about it is that we were able to build like our following separately as well. So it's not necessarily like we're doing this together and it's fun. And it's fun because we are actually friends and we have been friends for so long. But we also do our own independent content and still stand alone and have our own audience there. And I think that sometimes with this type of thing, it can get weird with like, oh, who has more followers and who's more known and all this type of shit. And so I really am glad that we were able to like do things solo and then come back together so that not only can it be appreciated by everyone else, like our dynamic, but it's really appreciated by us as well.
Very organic. Yeah.
Do you want to tell them about some of the segments? Do you want to tell them about the Spin It segment?
Yes. Okay. So if y'all was watching the TikTok, which y'all should have been, because that's part of y'all homework assignments to be watching all of the things. But we're going to start a segment called Spin It, where we'll either touch on a scandalous topic that's going on in the world, or we're going to be reading y'all submissions when y'all send us your scandals, and we're going to give y'all a way that you can spin it, how you can make your pivot in a PR type of way, because what you have to know about PR is the first thing you learn in PR is some of these things we do are not morally sound, but that's not the point.
They're not ethical.
That's not
it's
the
not
point.
About ethics.
It's not about ethics. You want to get out of this scandal or what? Okay. You ever watched the show Scandal? Yeah. Do you want to get out of this or what? The morality has to get out the window. So we'll be doing that. In conjunction with our Spin It portion, we will also be doing a lot of debriefing and recapping of current events and things that's going on, so we can give our hot takes and kind of go on, so forth and so forth. So it's going to be very interactive, very energetic. This was kind of, of course, our intro episode. You guys get a little bit more insight, a little bit more Mecca and Jamila lore, if you will. And so hope you guys enjoyed it.
We gave them some real lore.
We gave y'all a ton of lore, actually.
We gave y'all lore for real. That was crazy.
We told y'all our business. Like, I wonder if those boys, if they ever hear this, will they know exactly who you're talking about?
I mean, duh. Him, like, I feel like, honestly, especially when I be noticing OFIO in our like in my comments, and I be talking, and people will say little things. I'm like, if you went to Hampton, it's very apparent who the fuck I'm talking about.
There's only 15 possible people that could be. But yeah, child.
And that's why I'm really not finna say no names, tribe.
Yeah. Hell no.
we just gonna kiki at homecoming. That's about it.
Exactly. Well, yeah, make sure you guys are following everything Unhinged and Immoral on everything. And make sure y'all send your submissions.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Yes.
Don't forget to give us 5 stars on wherever you listen to podcasts. That really helps us. And leave a comment if it lets you do so.
So tune in every Thursday on every platform. Make sure y'all are sharing all of our videos on social media. And yeah, that's it.
She didn't even have to say anything. She just wanted to keep talking. And that's why I set her up like that. But
I did. Unhinged and Immoral is hosted by Jamila Bell and Mecca Evans.
Produced by Melissa D. Montz and Diamond Imprint Productions.
Post-production by Coco Lawrence.
Production assistance by Melody D. Watson.
Music by Audie and Brooklyn Billionaires.